Right back again. Snap your fingers, tap your toes, feel that rhythm start to glow. From your hat down to your grin, you'll feel fine.
Welcome back, good evening, or good night, or whatever hour your clock insists that this is. This is GhostLine, and I'm Julian Cross. And somewhere in the dark behind the glass, Evan is here as well, pretending that the equipment works, because optimism is cheaper than repairs. Tonight's a quiet night on the board, which usually means one of two things. Either nothing strange is happening, or everyone who noticed something strange is currently sitting somewhere thinking, I probably shouldn't talk about that. And if that's you right now, you know the number. Call it anyway. Now, before we open the lines, we got a few stories we've been tracking over the past week. Little things, small fractures. The kind of stories that don't make national headlines, but still make you sit back and say, wait a second. Our first story comes out of the Agila Municipal Block, Northern Administrative Region. Local school, nothing dramatic on the surface. Substitute teacher covering a morning class, standard stuff. Kids come in, attendance gets taken, and afterwards, the substitute teacher mentions something odd to the regular teacher. Apparently, one of the students was quiet, kept their head down, didn't participate. The teacher assumed the kid was just shy, but when the regular teacher checked the attendance list, that student wasn't enrolled. Not in the class, not in the grade, not even in the school. Now, normally that's where the story ends. Administrative mix-up. Kid from another class wandered in. But here's the detail that made the district file a report. The substitute teacher insisted she recognized the student. Not from the day, from the previous week. She remembered calling on them during another class period. Remembered the student answering questions, remembered writing their name down, but according to the school's records, that student transferred into the district 2 days later. So the teacher remembered a student who technically hadn't arrived yet. Now maybe that's paperwork confusion. Maybe somebody typed something wrong into the district system, or maybe sometimes memory doesn't respect the calendar. Our second story comes from the Chicago urban sector, and if you've ever walked downtown while checking your phone, this might feel familiar. A commuter leaving work, eyes on their screen, walking fast, head down, you know the posture, modern humanity's default stance. Except, this guy didn't walk into a pool, didn't trip on a curb, he walked straight into a glass wall. Hard. Paramedics show up, guy's embarrassed, but otherwise fine. But when they ask him what happened, he says something odd. He says he didn't see the wall. He swears that walkway had always been open. Straight path through the plaza, no barrier. Except security footage shows that glass wall had been there for 3 years. You heard that right, 3 years. Now again, maybe he was distracted. Maybe he just never noticed it before. But apparently, after the incident, he kept saying something to the paramedics over and over. Why did they move it? They moved it. They must have moved it. Except, nobody had. Our third story is a transportation report out of Pacific Transit Corridor. Late night train, half empty, 2 passengers sitting across from each other. They strike up a conversation, nothing unusual about that. Just that late-night traveler bonding. One of them gets off at the next stop. The other passenger stays seated. The trains continue. But when the conductor comes through checking tickets, the remaining passenger asks something strange. He asks what happened to the woman sitting across from him. The conductor says there wasn't anyone there. The passenger insists that there was. They talked for 20 minutes. Talked about work, talked about the weather, talked about the train schedule. The conductor checked security footage, and the whole time, the passenger had been sitting alone. talking, pausing, listening, responding. Now again, fatigue, long day, brains do funny things at midnight still. Strange story. And our last one tonight, small one, comes from the North River Administrative District. Office worker finishing a late shift. Looks at the wall clock, sees that at 7:42 p.m. Makes a mental note. Gathers their things, walks out. Gets into the elevator, checks their phone. 6:58 p.m. They assume the phone is wrong. Walks back upstairs, checks the wall clock again. 7:42 p.m. Walks downstairs. Phone now says it's 7:01 p.m. Now obviously one of these clocks is wrong. Probably the office clock, except maintenance checked it the next morning. Clock was synchronized, accurate, to the second. So those are the stories that we're following tonight. Little fractures, nothing catastrophic, just small moments where reality shrugs and says, close enough. But tonight's calls might tie into something stranger. Because the emails coming in lately all share the same theme. People remembering things that technically haven't happened yet. Which raises a very uncomfortable question. Are we predicting the future? Or are some of us remembering it? And it looks like the first caller of the night is already waiting. Let's see what we've got. Caller, you're on GhostLine. What's your name?
Hi, Julian. My name is Derek. Thanks for taking me again.
Welcome to the show, Derek. Anyways, what's on your mind tonight?
Everything is escalating. Not just me noticing people slipping past me, but things disappearing. Small things, my keys, my notebook. Sometimes messages I swear I sent, they're gone. And when I check, no one got them.
Like the world is editing itself around you.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't know if it's me or if it's everything else.
We talked before about the idea of ripples, little things passing unnoticed, but now it feels like tidal waves.
Yes, exactly. And I keep thinking of that kid in the Agila municipal block, you know, the one that the teacher remembered. I feel like that's me, but alive.
Right? Evan's just quietly judging as always.
Yeah, I don't know what to do.
Well, you're doing what matters. You're noticing. And noticing is also cheaper than repairs.
That's true. Somehow it feels like that's the one thing like that's the one thing that's keeping me tethered. I don't know.
It's the thread, isn't it? You hold the thread, even when the rest of the tapestry is slipping through the loom. And that's what we're following tonight, the threads. The things we don't notice until they're gone.
Thanks for taking my call anyways, Julian.
Thanks for your call. We'll go back to the lines. Line 2, you're up. We've got Andrew on the line. Andrew, what's shaking?
Hi, Julian. This is weird. I've been trying to explain this to a friend, but I don't think they get it.
Try me.
It's the phone. I'm glued to it, and I keep bumping into things. Walls, poles, even cars. No big incidents, knock on wood, but enough, enough to feel like I'm missing pieces of the world around me.
You mean like you're only half present?
Exactly. And sometimes I swear my mind is somewhere else, like it already remembers where the wall is, but I feel it like a bruise when I still walk into it.
So your memory is anticipating collision before your body even knows it's coming, correct?
Yes, and I can't tell if it's skill or warning or if something is rewriting how I interact with space.
That's a little unnerving. And what do the people around you say?
Well, yeah, they just say text less, watch where you're going.
Classic. That's your optimism is cheaper than repairs again, but the repairs, they do start to pile up.
Yeah, that's it. That's it exactly.
And here's the thing. Sometimes these minor collisions are just practice, little reminders, but sometimes they're breadcrumbs. Subtle patterns that we can't quite trace, but our attention, it notices anyway.
That's all I got for now, Julian. Thanks for letting me share it.
Thank you, Andrew, for your call tonight. All right, we're going to take another call. We got Amanda on the line. Amanda, you're up.
Hey, Julian. I think I'm starting to remember things before they happen.
Ah, we've been circling that. Tell me, what do you mean?
It's not seeing the future. I know that now. I'm remembering it, like the moment already happened somewhere else, and I'm catching up.
So it feels like deja vu aged? Familiar before it's real?
Yeah, and sometimes it's emotional, like the tension, the panic, the regret. I feel it before the events.
I see. And do you ever test it? Try to see if it's just coincidence?
I can't. Not safely. And the smaller stuff, it's subtle enough that I almost forget I felt it at all.
I can see why that would be unnerving. And Evan, if you're taking notes back there, this is exactly why we need that cup of coffee.
Thank you, Julian.
Thank you, Amanda, for your call. What we're seeing here are different manifestations of the same phenomenon. Threads of attention pulling in unexpected ways. People noticing patterns in the space between the moments. And what about the world itself? The Agila Municipal Block, the Chicago District 12, the Western Corridor, all quiet systems adjusting around us, around people without anyone quite noticing. Anyways, back to the lines. Who do we have now?
Hello, Julian. This is Stan out of South Dakota, Industrial Route 7. Julian, I think my memory is fracturing.
Fracturing how?
I remember events differently depending on who I talk to. Friends, family, coworkers.
So the reconstruction changes with the audience? Is that what I'm getting? Your memory negotiates with others?
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes I feel like I'm arguing with myself, but I can't tell which self is wrong.
Well, that's the soft erosion of reality. You're noticing the edits and the awareness. It matters.
All right, well, thanks for letting me share, Julian.
You're not hearing these people tonight because they've noticed. They notice the cracks, the misfires, the tiny misalignments. And when we listen to them, we start noticing too. This is GhostLine, and tonight, the threads are getting tighter. Thanks for your call. You ever sit somewhere long enough that the room starts to feel different? Not haunted, not wrong, just like it's waiting for something? We had a call recently about someone who thought they blacked out for a second. Said they weren't sure they stayed where they were. You remember that one? Let's go to the line. Daniel, you're on GhostLine.
Hey, Julian. Seattle, Western Corridor, Block 9, calling in tonight. Yeah, I've been going back and forth on calling all night.
That usually means you should.
Yeah, okay. So this is going to sound like I'm making it up. I was sitting in my living room, late, maybe around midnight. TV was on, but I wasn't really watching it, just kind of sitting there. And then someone was standing in front of me.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. No sound, no build-up, just there. They looked normal. It wasn't like a ghost or anything, just a guy. But he looked confused, like he didn't know where he was. And he looked right at me, like he could actually see me.
What did you do?
Nothing at first, I just kind of froze. Because, my brain was trying to figure out how someone just appears in your house. Then he tried to say something. I could see it. His mouth moved.
Did you hear anything?
No, nothing. Then he reached towards me, and that's when I kind of leaned back, not even thinking about it, just, instinct. And then he was gone, just gone, like he was never there.
Daniel, I want to ask you something, and I want you to take your time before you answer.
Okay.
Did it feel like he arrived? Or like he was already there and you just noticed him?
I don't know for sure, but it kind of felt like he arrived.
We had a caller tonight. Said they lost a second. Everything went white. And when it came back, they were standing in front of someone.
You're serious?
I am.
Because that's exactly what it felt like. Like he didn't come into my house, like he came from somewhere else.
You said he tried to speak. Did you catch anything at all? A word, a shape, anything?
I didn't hear it, but I think I know what he said.
Go ahead.
It looked like he said, hey. Or maybe no. Wait. It was longer than that. I think it was, can you hear me?
Yeah. Daniel, if that ever happens again, don't look away.
Okay. Thank you for hearing me out, Julian.
Thank you for the call. 2 people, 2 rooms, same moment. One thinks they've left, the other thinks something arrived. Maybe neither of them moved. Maybe they just met somewhere in between. Same hour, same frequency. All right. We've talked about being overlooked, about memory rewriting, about echoes of the future you can feel today. Let's take the next caller. Caller 3, you're live on GhostLine. Sonny, welcome back. You've called a while ago, I remember.
Yeah, I think I'm noticing more now. Things are layering.
Layering. Continue.
Yeah, layering. Like moments stacking on each other. I'll do something, say hello to a friend, and before they answer, I already remember the answer I will hear.
Almost like your mind is reading the script before the actors say their line.
Exactly. Sometimes the line changes. The answer isn't exactly what I remembered.
So, you're remembering a memory that isn't fixed yet?
Yes, and I think someone or something is practicing, testing outcomes, watching what sticks, and leaking it back.
Evan's here as always, just nodding behind the console.
Good. I like knowing someone is paying attention.
Thank you, Sonny, for your call.
Thanks for listening.
Caller 4, you're live. We've got Marco on the line. What's happening on your end, Marco?
Hey, Julian, I don't even know where to start.
Start anywhere.
All right? Well, people aren't just forgetting me, they're remembering me wrong.
Wrong?
Like my coworkers swear I emailed them things I never wrote. My friends remember conversations I never had, and I'm starting to second guess pretty much everything.
Sounds like your life has become negotiable.
Yeah, negotiable, editable, and it's exhausting. I don't even know what's real anymore.
Which is exactly what we've been talking about tonight. Memory isn't just history. It's active. It's predictive. It's subject to influence.
And if it can be influenced, maybe we're living drafts all along. You know what I mean?
That's a heavy thought, Marco.
Heavy, yes, but also kind of freeing, maybe. You know?
Freedom in uncertainty. I like that. Thank you, Marco.
Thanks for taking my call, Julian.
All right. Our last caller for the evening. Caller 5, you're live. Who be this?
Hi, Julian. This is Leela from Ohio, Central Corridor. I don't know if this fits, but I feel like I've stepped sideways into someone else's story.
All right, Leela, tell me more.
I walk around and people act like I'm someone else. Names, faces, memories, they attach to me incorrectly. But I remember me.
And the rest of the world doesn't?
No. And sometimes I catch a glimpse of myself in a reflection, and I don't recognize the person staring back. At least not exactly.
So, you're saying identity becomes fluid?
Exactly. And I keep wondering, who's writing this, and will it ever stop?
That's the edge we're always circling here on GhostLine. The moment when reality is soft enough to feel rewritten. And you're the last one to know.
I guess. That's why I called, to be heard somewhere. All right. Thank you, Julian. Thank you.
Leela, you're heard. Thank you. We've heard tonight about people slipping through the cracks, about memories that rewrite themselves, about moments that arrive before we've even lived them. We've heard about layers, echoes, drafts, and identities that feel borrowed or stolen. And maybe that's the point. Maybe what we call reality isn't finished. Maybe we are all just drafts in progress. Moments edited, rearranged, tested. And the curious part, the terrifying part, is that sometimes we feel the edits before they happen. We feel the hand that shapes a story. We feel the soft tilt of the world. And we keep walking. We keep talking. And we keep remembering, or remembering incorrectly. And that is all we get. This is GhostLine, and tonight we're still listening. We're gonna go to commercial. Have a good night, or morning, or evening, wherever you are.
1, 2, North Star. Sleep Clinic is right for you. Free, all in your mind is the door. 5, 6, let the shadows mix. 7, 8, your dreams away the